everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Monday, only here on Oldies and More Radio, also live on the YouTube Ustream. Welcoming you to the August 29, 2022 Vinyl Treasure shows. This month seems to be flying by. It's going to be September in a few days here. It's unbelievable that we're already at the going to be going into the fall pretty soon. But welcome to the All 60's edition of Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show, where I feature cool 60's soul 45's out of my collection. And we opened up tonight's All 60's edition with a band that was formed by the Session Men for Stax Records. Yes, they led by keyboardist Booker T. Jones, known as the group known as Booker T and the MGs. That's their 8th of 24 releases on the Stax record label. A song called Bootleg, something that you'll never hear on this show. Johnny G does not play bootlegs on my Saturday night show nor on my 60s show, only all originals. But this tune charted number 58 on Billboard, 50 on Cashbox, number 10 on the Billboard R&B chart, and a big number 2 record on WAWA in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. From April 65, Booker T and the MGs on Stax. It's called Bootleg, but no bootlegs tonight, as I mentioned. Let's open up the vocal portion now with the debut single for this singer. His name is Lee Weber, Webber, and this is a tune written by Dan Penn and Spooner Oldham. This one came out on the Chess record label September 1968. We open up with Lee Weber on Chess, and the name of the tune is called Party Time.
We're gonna hate ourselves in the morning. We're gonna hate ourselves, I know. There's a party going on, y'all. Come on over. Come on over. If you're sitting home all alone now, come on over. Take it all over. Oh, the fantasy shout a good crowd, but that room for you if you wanna now. Come on over. Hey, wait a minute, y'all. I gotta come over and you to do now. Wait a minute now. Wow, say you got a weary mind now. Come on over. Come on over. You leave all your trouble behind now. Come on over. Shake it out. Going strong. We're gonna rock till the break of dawn. You better not wait too long. Well, come on over. If you feel like you need some fun, come on over. The party has just begun. Come on over.
It's our Monday night party here from 8 to 11 on Oldies and More Radio. From September 1968, that's Mr. Lee Weber on the Chess record label, Party Time. is the name of the tune, as we party time every Monday night here. And he would have a couple more releases, I think, on the Excello record label there, but that is his debut single as we continue here. Let's go to Detroit, Michigan now for this girl group. They're called the Wonderettes. This is their debut single. Well, actually, no, their debut single came out on the Enterprize label back in 1964. They followed it up with this release on the Ruby label. This one would get picked up for you collectors out there on United Artists, but this is the first press on Ruby Records. It features Rose Johnson on lead. This charted number 17 on WKNR in Detroit, Michigan. Let's go to August 1965. These are the Wonderettes on the Ruby label. It's called I Feel Strange. As Daryl mentions, a big hit in the Detroit area, the Wonderettes there. August 1965 featured it on the first press, Ruby Records. Rose Johnson, she's the lead singer. United Artists would pick that 45 up. They have one other release on United Artists. They also backed up Johnny Mae Matthews on her Atco release, and also on the Veep label, as this group recorded as Rose St. John and the Wonderettes on Veep Records, if you have that 45. Let's continue now. And this next singer, he's originally from Portsmouth, Virginia, started his career at the age of 12 in 1954, first recording as Little Jerry, then as Little Jerry Williams, and finally as just Jerry Williams. Had singles on numerous labels, that being Ember, Aldo, V-Tone, Loma, Southern Sound, Academy, and this label, Nate Calla's Calla record label. This is his second of 4 on the Calla label. It's a song he wrote. This was a number 15 record if you were listening to WJMO in Cleveland, Ohio, as we go back to February 1966 for Jerry Williams on the Calla label. It's called Baby Bunny Sugar Honey. That's the sound of Jerry Williams there, second of four on the Nate Callis Calla record label, February 66. Baby Bunny, parentheses, Sugar Honey is the name of the song, a song he wrote. And in the 1970s, he recorded as Swamp Dogg, if you have any of those albums, or I don't know if he... Yeah, I guess 45's also there, but a great sound there by Mr. Jerry Williams. Let's continue here. Got a girl group sound here. They're out of Greenville, Mississippi, and they initially recorded as the Queenettes. The Queenettes, back in 1964, they had two releases on the Bobo and the Fun record labels, and in 1965, they changed their name, of all names, to the Cherries. So how do you go from the Queenettes to the Cherries? I'll never know, but this is one on the local Della label, Della Records, and the instrumentation, it's provided by the Rhythm Kings. This is from June 1965. The Cherries, the name of the group. This is on the Della label. It's called You Know You Gonna Need Me.
Thought I
Yeah, those are the Rhythm Kings there. Somebody banging on the organ there. Sounded like it. June 65, they're called the Cherries. The Cherries and the Rhythm Kings. It's on the Della record label, You Know You're Gonna Need Me. They even sound earlier. They recorded in 64 as the Queenettes, and they actually re-sing the flip side on their debut single, but it's a little bit faster, I think, on the flip side of this. Then they have a later release, too, on the Big Beat label, I think in 1967. But let's continue here. And up next are two brothers from Pensacola, Florida. They are Johnny and Jerry Freeman, according to recording as the Freeman Brothers. And they first recorded back in 1964 for the Jovial record label. And this was their very next release that came out on Mala Records, but it was issued twice. It was first issued in August of 64. You might have it on Mala 485. Then in February of 67, for some reason, they re-released the same record as Mala 553. And that's the copy that I'm featuring here. Now it features Johnny Freeman on vocals and his brother Jerry. He's conducting the orchestra. This one from featuring the February 67 release by the Freeman Brothers. This is on the Mala label. It's called Every Day It's You.
If it's on a Monday, your loving must proceed. And if it's Wednesday, you know your loving must proceed. No one else will do, baby, my everyday is you. If it's on a Wednesday, I said I want in your arms. Come on, if it's on a Thursday, won't you bring me your charm? No one else will do, oh, baby, my everyday is you. Yes, sir, come on now. Every day you're my special angel, sent from up above. Thank you, my good Lord, someone of my own, and a someone to love. Oh, won't you please, please say you love me, and now and you always will. And that's just as long as we both live. I said, oh, yeah. Now, Friday. I said my Saturdays too. You know I need your good love on a Sunday to carry me through. No one else will do, baby, my everyday is you. Yes, sir, one more time. You are my special angel, sent to me from my good Lord above. Thank you, my good Lord, for sending me someone to love. Yes, sir, someone of my own, forever now into the end of time. Come on and say that you love me. Yes, sir, and you'll always be mine, 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 mine. Yes, sir, one more time every day of my life, even if it's Sunday. Won't you come on and carry me through? I need your love every day right now, now. My everyday is you. No one else will do. Baby, my everyday is you. Yes, sir. Come on, my everyday is you. From the bottom of my heart, little girl, don't you hear me saying I love you. And every day I thank my good Lord for sending me down to love right now.
That group called the Freeman Brothers. That one there originally released in August of 1964 on the Mala label. Mala re-released it for some reason, February 1967. The Freeman Brothers there, Every Day It's You is the name of the tune. They have other releases also on International Allied and also the Soul label, the Motown Soul label. I have that 45. And also on the Sprite label. As we continue here, let's go back to Detroit for this girl group, which consisted of Danita James. She's the cousin to Kim Weston, and she also has a cool single on the Flip label from 1964. And Faye McGee, Loretta Bowen, And one more gal that they were in an interview, they couldn't remember her name, but it was Judy was her first name. But collectively, they were called the Naturels. The Naturels, and this was their debut single. Came out on the Venture record label. We go back to January 1968. They're called the Naturels on the Venture label. It's called Love Has Joined Us Together.
Join us together like birds of a feather. We go together, and I love you. I love you. I love you, baby, love you. Love has joined us together like ships and oceans. We belong together, and I need you. I need you. Together, and I want you. I want you. Oh, I want you, baby, I want you. Ooh, I need you, like the clouds in the sky. I need you, like the bird need wings to fly, like the fish need the sea, baby. I need your love for me. Oh, love has joined us together, baby. 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 Love has joined.
That's the debut single for the Naturels. The Naturels from January 1968 that came out on the Venture record label. Love Has Joined Us Together is the name of the tune. They would have one more release in February of 69. I think the flip side of that and another with another song, but they kind of changed their name a little bit. They put an apostrophe after the Natura, so they were known as the Naturels versus the Naturels. That's how I say it. But anyway, let's continue here. Hope you're digging on the cool 1960s 45's out of my collection. You're not going to hear any hits on the show. Well, occasionally I'll play a hit or I'll play a song that you know, but you're not going to know this song. This song out of St. Louis, Missouri, as this came out on Emmett Carter's Carter record label, which again was out of St. Louis, Missouri, and this group is called TR and the Nomads. They are the group. They are providing the instruments here, and it included Tim Radman, that's TR. He was on the drums, Danny McBride on the organ, Tom Zuzanak, he was the bass, Larry Scheller was lead guitar, and John Kuklier, he was on the trumpet. Actually more here on two saxophone players, Mark Trentman and Tom Liberty. They are TR and the Nomads, and the lead singer on this, his name is Bob Dorman. So let's go to 1965 for Bob Dorman with TR and the Nomads on the Carter label. It's called I Can't Wait.
Just gotta tell the world I love this great gal's much more than wonderful. Gotta tell those people I can't wait, gal's much more than marvelous. I have to tell the people of this world about a fabulous and wonderful girl. 'Cause baby, it's you, only you can make love so fine. And baby, I can't wait to tell all the people, hey, baby, you're mine. I want heaven and earth to know about the angel I'm living for. I'm gonna stand on a mountain to show you're the girl, yeah, that I adore. I have to tell the people of this world about a wonderful, magnificent girl. 'Cause baby, it's you, only you can make happiness mine. And baby, I can't wait to tell all the people, hey, baby, you're mine. You've got all that a girl can have, and baby, I see much, much more. I see the virtues of Venus, and darling, that's what I love you for. Baby, I can't wait for to love you. I want a heaven and earth to know about the angel I'm living for. I'm gonna stand on a mountain to show you the girl, yeah, that I adore. I have to tell the people of this world about a wonderful and fabulous girl. 'Cause baby, it's you. Yeah, I can't wait. Baby, I can't wait for the love of you. Baby, I can't wait.
As Bob Dorman with TR and the Nomads, 1965. It's out of St. Louis, Missouri on the Carter record label. I Can't Wait is the name of the tune. That is the intended A-side. We're going to save the flip side for when Dave the Rave comes in, because he was telling me about, he goes, Johnny, you got this record, you got it, you show that you have it on 45 Cat, and he wants to hear the flip. I'm not going to play it now, though, but stay tuned for that at the end of the show. But let's move on here. Let's go to this gal out of New York. This is her first release. Came out on the Tower label, written and produced by Larry Cusick and Richie Adams. Now, you know who Richie Adams is. Richie Adams is the ex-lead singer of the Fireflies. They had a big hit called You Were Mine in 1959 on the Ribbon label, and he was also a famed, not only a singer, also a songwriter and a producer. Now, Larry Cusick, he would write the lyrics on many of the major movie themes later on. I think after this release, of course. He wrote the lyrics to the themes of The Godfather, Romeo and Juliet, Murder on the Orient Express, Rosemary's Baby, and other movies, of course. But this is arranged by Roy Glover. This is from September 65. Let's give a listen to Rita De Costa. Rita De Costa's her name. It's on the Tower label. It's called You and Nothing More.
Once I wanted gifts from far-off places, Caribbean cruises, brand new faces. Then I kissed your lips, and I knew I found what I've been looking for. You and nothing more. You and nothing more. Life was empty, nothing seemed to thrill me, till I felt your eager fingers chill me. In your arms I learned all the thrills of love I never had before. With you and nothing more. You and nothing could I go on? 'Cause I'm just living for you and nothing more. You and nothing more.
That's Miss Rita De Costa. Rita De Costa came out on the Tower record label September 1965. You and Nothing More is the name of the tune. She's got an in-demand 45. I think it came out in 1969 on the Mohawk label. I forget the name of the tune, but she has an in-demand record. That is a fact. And in the 70s, she has some jazz releases with the Cedar Walton Trio. So if you like jazz, you can check her out as we continue here on the All 60s edition for this next singer. His name is Pete Cook. And this is a 45, came out on the Dimension label, one of the later Dimensions, 1037. And I found a blurb in the October 1964 edition of Billboard magazine. It says that Dimension signed this artist to an exclusive recording contract, and he will be appearing in nightclubs with his own group called the Baby Dolls. And before this release, he was a member of a gospel quartet. They were called the Mighty Four Gospel Singers. But this is his debut solo release, a song he co-wrote. This was produced by Gene Red. Let's go to October 1964 for Pete Cook. Pete Cook on the Dimension label. It's called Little Darlin'. That's Pete Cook. Pete Cook, I guess the Baby Dolls, his girl group backing him up there, October 64. That's on the Dimension label. You know, same Dimension label that has the Cookies and Little Eva and couple other couple other acts. Song entitled Little Darlin' is the name of that one. Johnny G here on a Monday evening. Hope you're digging on the tunes. We're here from 11 Eastern time till midnight. No, I'm sorry. We're here from 8 Eastern time to 11 p.m. tonight. We usually do a little bit of overtime, but let's continue here. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Rolling Stones hit from the fall of 1964 on the London label. Maybe you own the 45. It's called Time Is On My Side. And I'm sure many do say that it was first recorded by Irma Thomas, as her version was released in June of 1964. But in reality, the original version of this came out in November of 63 by trumpeter Kai Winding. And it was Kai Winding with his trumpet on lead. It was backed up by a female vocal group called the Gospelaires. And the Gospelaires included Cissy Houston, Dionne Warwick, and Dee Dee Warwick. And they also backed up Garnet Mims on his United Artists hit Cry Baby as the Enchanters. Here they are backing up Kai Winding's trumpet on this original version here, written by Norman Mead, and Norman Mead is an alias for Jerry Ragavoy, who also arranged this tune. This charted number 39 on WHK in Cleveland, Ohio. We're going to send this out to Russia listener Yulia. You will send it out to Yulia listening in Russia, maybe not now, but on the archive she will. And this is from November 63. This is Kai Winding on the Verve record label. The original version of Time Is On My Side.
Yeah.
That's the original version of Time Is On My Side, released in November of 1963. Kai Winding and His Trumpet. That's on the Verve record label, and the gals in the background, they were known as the Gospel Heirs, and they were Dee Dee Warwick, Dionne Warwick, her sister, and Cissy Houston. And they sounded just like the Enchanters. They were the Enchanters that backed up Garnet Mims. Of course, that group, that was his male group, but on that single, they were the Enchanters. And when Irma Thomas recorded the song, the arranger, which was H.B. Barnum on that Imperial release, he enlisted Jimmy Norman to create additional lyrics. So he added. That's why you'll see it on the Rolling Stones 45, and also on the Irma Thomas. You'll see two writer credit there as Norman and Mead. I think I did say that. Yeah, Mead. Those are the two writers. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Up next, this group out of Texas, and their debut single came out in 1963 on the Guidon label. Releases followed on Whiz Records and also Dynamic Records, a local to San Antonio, Texas. They did have one more in 1967 on the Atlantic label. Then later that year in 67, they hooked up with singer-songwriter-producer Lou Courtney for 3 releases on the Popside record label. This was their final single, probably recorded for Popside Records, but then probably licensed over to Verve Records. It's like a twin spin on the Verve label. A tune written by Lou Courtney and Bob Bateman. It features Willie Cooper on lead. This is our twin spin on the Verve label. July 1968. They're called The Webs. The Webs on the Verve label. It's called I Want You Back. Johnny G getting caught here because I'm I'm explaining to Jimmy Amato that I can't take requests the night of the show. I mean, I could take the requests. I can't play them, though. That's not a possibility. But, and also, you know, I got my 60s records. They're nowhere near in any kind of shape as my 50s records. So it's kind of difficult to find the requests. I do find some from time to time because there's about 5,000 singles that are probably filed correctly prior to me buying out, you know, small inventories of records. But I'm still going through 60s stuff. These things that I'm playing tonight, they were all new. They were all new to the program, so they were just in boxes. I have to put them in my record cleaner there, and I get them ready for the show, and I tell Charlene, we're playing these records tonight, help me with the quick research, and that's what we do. So if you have a request, you got to send it to me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. I can't promise you that I'm going to see all the requests all over social media. You know how difficult it is to monitor social media with the stuff that I do? It is hard. It is not an easy thing to do. Chipper knows that, right? But let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasures show. Let's go to Memphis, Tennessee now for this next group. They signed with Gold Wax Records back in 1964. They had 9 releases on the label. They hit the national charts with the song called It's Wonderful to Be in Love. I know some of you know that tune. I know Jerry Nason knows that tune because the lead singer sounds so much like Sam Cooke, but his name is Lewis Williams. And let's give a listen to the group's 4th release on the Gold Wax record label. This is another Dan Penn and Spooner Oldham Penn tune. Let's go to January 1966. These are the Ovations. The Ovations on Gold Wax Records. It's called I Need a Lot of Lovin'.
A lot of loving every day. Every day. Yes, I need a lot of loving every day. Yes, I need a lot of love to keep me from thinking of my baby who's gone away. Yes, I need a lot of loving every day, and I require a million kisses every night. Yeah, yes, I require a million kisses every night. A lot of kisses when the sun goes down helps me forget my baby's not around. Yes, I require a million kisses every night. I keep praying and saying you'll come back someday and be mine. Yeah, yeah, but the days are too long and the nights linger on. I almost lost my mind. That's why I need a lot of love every day. Yeah, yes, I need a lot of
lead singer sounds a lot like Sam Cooke. I say that. That's Lewis Williams on lead with the Ovations, January 1966. Came out on the Gold Wax record label. That's their, what did I say? That was their, what did I say? Their third of nine? I can't read. No, that's their fourth of nine on the Gold Wax record label. I Need a Lot of Lovin', as Warren looks for those Dan Penn, Spooner Oldham songs. They are great songs, you know. They wrote so many cool records like I'm Your Puppet, to name a few. Name one. They have hundreds and hundreds of cool records. So yeah, that's a good thing to do. I would agree with Warren on that one. As we move on here on Vinyl Treasures. Now, you all know this group from Jamaica, Queens. You know their signature song, a song called Tell 'Em. You know that song, Brian, called Tell 'Em? Came out on United Artists in early 1963. That was their debut single. And they would have other releases, though, for Roulette, Bang Records, Shout Records, I think through 1967. Then in 1968, they signed with RCA Records for 2 releases. This was their second, was assisted by their longtime arranger, and he was Tico Wilshire. That's a name I look for on 1950s 45s and 60s too, by the way. And also the songwriter on this, or one of the songwriters, was Larry Banks. I know that name. He's an ex-member of the Four Fellows. This is their second of 2 on RCA. Brenda Reed, she's the lead singer of the group. Let's go to February 1969, a late one for the Exciters on RCA Records. It's called Blowing Up My Mind.
It's alright, but it's so wrong. Don't get weak, you come on strong. It's blowing up my
That's a late one there for Brenda Reed and the Exciters, February 69 release. That's second of two on the RCA record label. Blowing Up My Mind is the name of the tune. Some of these records do blow up Johnny G's mind. I'm so surprised that I have them. But it goes to show you that I was buying everything at one time in my record collecting career, and it's really my whole lifetime. You see my whole life before you on Saturday nights and Monday nights as we continue here, and we go to a touch of the 70s. I know Miami Santi in the Oldies and More chat room, he likes a touch of the 70s, even on this all 60s edition. For this group called the Melodics, I think that's how you say it, Melodics, the Melodics. They're out of Memphis, Tennessee, and this came out on the MOC label. That is a local label to Memphis, Tennessee also. It's a tune written by Marshall Jones and the lead singer of the group. His name is Carl Smith. So let's go to February 1970. Touch of the 70s here on the All 60s edition. The Melodics, the name of the group. The song is called I'd Never Thought I'd Lose You. Those are the Melodics there on the MOC record label. February 1970 release. Carl Smith, the lead singer on that. I'd Never Thought I'd Lose You is the name of that tune. Let's continue here for this singer. You all know, or most of you should know this singer out of Fayetteville, Tennessee. He's best known for his 1958 hit that came out on the Capitol label, a song called For Your Love. But throughout his career, he was not only a talented singer, but also a talented songwriter, arranger, and producer. First recording in 1956 for the Aladdin label, but has other releases on different labels. Dot Records, Capitol, Warner Brothers, Challenge, Liberty, KT, Max. I think I played a release of his on the Max label. And this label out of Englewood, New Jersey, called True Glow Town. And it's a song that he wrote together with Jesse Herring Jr. This is from August 1966. His name is Ed Townsend. Ed Townsend on the True Glow Town record label. It's called Don't Lead Me On.
Tell me, but don't lead me on. If you don't need me, just tell me, but don't lead me on. Tell me one time, darling, and though it hurts me, I'll be gone. But please, pretty baby, don't lead me on. If you have found another, don't lead me on.
That's Ed Townsend. Ed Townsend on the True Glow Town record label out of Englewood, New Jersey from August 1966. Don't lead me on, Jimmy Amato. Don't lead Johnny G on, as I will check on that record. I don't have every record. I wish I had that J. Frank Wilson record. I wish I did. I can only fantasize that I would own it. But I don't even own the bootleg of it. But I wish I did have every record, but unfortunately I don't. Let's go to Sacramento, California now for this next gal. And her real name was Mary Ann Varney, but she recorded as Mary Love. She signed with Modern Records out of California. I don't know if the Bahari Brothers owned it by this time. I think they did, because they had Modern and Kent Records, I think, was still active. But this is on the Modern record label. She signed in 1965. She had 6 releases. This is her third from May of 1966. And let's give it a spin. Her name is Mary Love. On Modern Records, it's called Let Me Know, Mary Love.
right now. I admit that there were times I cheated on you, but these temptations would never exist. But you keep me so blue. Why can't you be just a little more thoughtful? Why do you leave me feeling so down? But when a little understanding is all I need, a few tender words would mean so much to me. Let me know, tell me that you love me right now. Let me know, tell me that you need me right now. I'm tired of telling myself soon everything will work out fine. 'Cause from day to day you've been drifting away. I can't wait forever. It's now or never. Let me know, tell me that you love me right now. If you think you'll break my heart by saying goodbye, it wouldn't be much better that way. At least I know why. The tears I've cried have paid my bill. So let my poor heart out of jail. I need some love and tenderness. I'm looking forward to true happiness. Let me know, tell me that you love me right now. Let me know.
Out of Sacramento, California, that's Mary Love. Mary Love with her third of 6 on the Modern label from May 1966. Let Me Know is the name of the tune. She has other releases, I think on Hill Records, Jubilee Records, I think a couple other labels too. But let's continue here as we continue. And this next group, they're out of Richmond, Virginia. Their first 3 singles came out on the local TEO label beginning in 1965. They would have 2 on another local Virginia label called Soulo, Soulo. And their second one, which would be their very last single, was picked up by Date Records for national distribution. So maybe some of you out there that collect the Date label or might have this 45, you may own it on the Date label because it's easier to get on Date. But the song was written by the sax player of the group. His name was Tom Hill, and the lead singer, his name is Nick Colleran. Nick Colleran on lead. This is their second of 2. I'm featuring it on the Soulo record label. We go to 1967. These are the Escorts. The Escorts on Soulo. It's called SOS, Heart in Distress.
Ecstasy, but now I'm like a ship caught in a stormy sea. Since you left me, girl, I'm like a drowning man. I just got to get you back again. So reach out, baby, please take my hand. I'm sending out an SOS, 'cause my heart's in distress. I'm sending out an SOS for your love. Save me, baby. Since you left me, baby,
That group called the Escorts. They're out of Richmond, Virginia. 1967. I featured it on the first label, Soul Records. SOS, Heart and Distress is the name of the tune. Nick Colleran on lead. Was picked up in June of 68 by the Date record label. Let's move on here. Let's go back to Detroit, Michigan now. Actually, this singer, originally from Detroit, first recorded for the Lando label back in 1964. He was 11 years old with those releases on the Lando label. He was Little Carlton, and in 1968 he moved to Houston, Texas, and signed with Don Robey's Backbeat label, and he was 14-year-old sensation Little Carlton, and had 10 releases on the Backbeat label. This was his first release for the label, and was number 75 on Billboard, 60 on Cashbox, number 36 on the R&B chart, and a big number 2 record on WABQ out of Cleveland, Ohio. Let's go to March 1968 for Little Carlton on the Backbeat record label. It's called Competition Ain't Nothing. Whoops, that's Little Carlton's first release on the Backbeat record label. His, how many did I say that he had? First release on the first of 10. Yes, the first of 10 releases on Backbeat Records. March 68, Little Carlton with Competition Ain't Nothing. I don't know about that, but we continue now. Let's go to Baytown, Texas for this next singer. She recorded 2 for the Enterprize label. This is the B-side to her second release, a tune written by Isaac Hayes. You know Isaac Hayes. Didn't Isaac Hayes do Shaft I think he did in the 1970. I think he did. Isaac Hayes and David Porter. This one also produced by Eddie Floyd and Al Jackson. Kind of an all-star lineup there on this single. Her name is Shirley Walton. Shirley Walton, this is her second release on the Enterprize label, came out in May of 1968. It's called The One You Can't Have All By Yourself. Shirley Walton.
I know I am guilty, but I don't mind. They can take me away, and I'll serve my time. It ain't right loving you, but darling, I got to. It's bad to be part-time and give up something I wish I was mine. Seems like the one you can't have all by yourself is the one you always fall for. Seems like the one you can't have all by yourself is the one you give your love to, all your love to. I wonder, do you kiss her with the fire? Do you kiss me? You spend more time with her, 'cause that's where you got to be. Darling, you're all that matters to me, and blind eyes can't see. I'll take the half of you. She can be number one. Please let me stay number two. Seems like the one you can't have all by yourself is the one you always fall for. Seems like the one you can't have all by yourself is the one you give your love to, all your love to. I hope she can make you happy, 'cause she's got more time. I know I could make you happy. That is, if you were all of mine. Seems like the one you can't have all by yourself is the one you always fall for. Seems like baby, you can't have all by yourself is the baby, you all I need. Seems like I love you. Seems like the one you can't have. You give your love.
That's the sound of Shirley Walton. Shirley Walton from May 68 is on the Enterprise record label, the B-side to her second release. The One You Can't Have, The One You Can't Have All By Yourself is the name of the tune. And I just got Rocky mixed up with Rockin' Chick. Rockin' Chick is Brian Korn, and Rocka Chicka, that's Rocky, I'm pretty sure. I think I got it right. I saw the logo. I said maybe he changed the logo because, Brian, you put the clef tones on your YouTube page instead of what you had previously. I forget who you had previously. But anyway, so we got to welcome Mark Speck into the chat room there. So lots of folks in the chat room tonight as we continue here on the All 60s edition for this this next singer from Morristown, New Jersey. This was his only release. It came out on Bob Crew's New Voice label, and it's an early effort song by a songwriter out of New York, a songwriter, arranger, and producer. His name is Tony Camillo, and he would later work on many soul, funk, and disco recordings. You know, in the later 60s and 1970s, I think he won a Grammy for Gladys Knight and the Pips' #1 1973 hit called Midnight Train to Georgia. But he wrote this song. I think he wrote, produced, and arranged this one. This is an early one for him. Came out in September of 1966. His name is Duff Thurman. Duff, Thurmond. This is on the New Voice record label. You know, it's always fun to get records like this for 10 cents. The song is called If You Loved Me Baby, Duff Thurman.
Said I'd change my way if you just come back home to me. Well, now that you left me without a word, well, that was the worst news, baby, that I had ever heard. Now, baby, you said before you set me free, you never let another woman look at me. Now you got me wrapped in your hair. Leave me pretty, baby, I care. Well, now that you've gone away for another man, there's the one thing, baby, that I just can't understand. Why did you leave me and not say goodbye? You knew it only make me break down and cry. You could have stayed and told me yourself. I heard the news from somebody else. Hey! You said before you set me free, you never let another woman look at me. But now you got me wrapped in your hair. Believe me, pretty baby, I care. Well, come on, baby, please come back home. Said I'll change my ways. I'll change my ways. Well, come on home. Don't leave me home.
His name is Duff Thurman. Duff Thurman there, September 66 release. Came out on the New Voice record label. If You Love Me Baby is the name of the tune. Always fun to find records in the wild like that. I should start doing that again, but I don't have time. I'm trying to organize what I've collected over the last 60, well, gotta say, 50 years possibly. Really started when I was 14 years old. Going to be 64 on Saturday, so we'll call it for the last 50 years. Accumulated 150,000 records, probably even more than that. But that's a lot of 45s as we continue here. Let's go to Philadelphia now. We go for this next group. They first recorded as the Bluebells for the Newtown and the Nicetown record labels, but they soon added their lead singer's name up front. Her real name is Patricia Louise Holt, but you know her as Patti LaBelle. And after 3 singles on the local Parkway record label, they signed with Atlantic Records in 1965 for 12 releases. I think their first was a song called All or Nothing, a pretty cool record by them. But this was their 5th of 12, and it's a cover song. This was first recorded by Evie Sands. I think she did it first in 1965 on what was it? Blue Cat Records. And then it was also released that same year by Jackie Ross. She released it on the hers was on the Chess label. But this is a nice cover that unfortunately didn't do so well nationally for them. This was number 94 on Cashbox, 89 on Billboard, number 36 on the R&B chart, and a number 16 record on WIGO in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go back to December 1966 for Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells on the Atlantic label, and their rendition of the tune Take Me for a Little While. Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyltreasure Show. It's Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells. December 1966 release. It's on the Atlantic label. That was, what did I say? That was their fifth release. No, did I say that? As I'm looking at my notes here. And, yeah, that's their fifth release there. Their rendition of the Evie Sands tune, Take Me For A Little While. How about a twin spin for Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells? That was their 5th of 12. Here was their 11th of 12. A tune written by Sarah Dash. This one came out in April 69. Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells on Atlantic. They return with a tune called Loving Rules. We'll send that one out to Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. That's his favorite Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells on the Atlantic label. Song entitled Loving Rules. That's a twin spin there from April 69. Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells on Atlantic called Loving Rules. As we continue here and we head to Los Angeles, California, with this group, they had 7 releases on Lou Bedell's Doré record label. This is their debut single written by group members Bobby Swain. Bobby Swain, he was an ex-member of the Superbs that also recorded for the Doré label, and a group member Charlie Davis. Now this features Kennard Garner on lead, and this is a special request going out to listener Jerry Nazen. This charted number 5 on WBEE in Chicago, Illinois. Let's go to October 1965 for the Entertainers 4. We're going to talk about this after. We're going to talk about it a little bit after I play it. The Entertainers 4 on Lou Bedell's Doré Records. This copy says, People Don't Look No More, parentheses, Temptation Walk. This is for Jerry Nazen.
People don't look no more. If there's a brand new dance that you've been looking for, people don't look no more. I know that you're gonna buy it, 'cause you're gonna get hooked, that's for sure. If you try it, people don't look no more.
As by request for Jerry Nazen there, the great sound of the Entertainers 4, October 1965 release, featured it on Lou Bedell's Doré record label. John G's got a cough tonight, folks, so you got to excuse me. Now, I had this, well, we'll show it again. This is on the Doré promo, at least it says promotional copy on it, and it has on the top line, People Don't Look No More, in parentheses below it, in small print, Temptation Walk. Now, I have a stock copy also that has it flipped with Temptation Walk, and then in parentheses, People Don't Look No More. And again, without the lines. And there's all, if you check on 45 Cat, there's a number of variations there are, but three great groups on the label later on. They were, of course, this group, they were the Superbs, and also the Whispers, who I have coming up later on the show. So stay tuned for that. But that's going out to Jerry Nazen. And speaking, we just played the Temptation Walk. How about we play a Temptations 45, as I did last week? I played Check Yourself, which was their second on the Miracle label. This is their first on the Miracle label, written by Paul Williams and William Stevenson. And again, I think really in the beginning of their career, Paul Williams was the official lead, and then Eddie Kendricks also did lead on some of those before, they got David Ruffin into the group. But this is from July 61. Have this on a promo, but it's styrene. I hate styrene. You know that. This is July 61, the Great Temptations. We just did the walk. This is the real thing. The Temptations on the Miracle label. Oh, Mother of Mine. We'll also send it out to Jerry.
Oh, mother, oh, mother of mine, I've been blind. Turn to be it. I paid, I really paid it no mind. Oh, please forgive me. Yes, I know I was wrong. But now I know that my place is at home. Can't you see I've been crying now? Oh, so dying. I need your advice, mama. Yeah. I'm not gonna be no fool no more. Yeah, because you told me so. Like it was. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Come on and tell me now. Oh, tell me now. I'm sorry. Yes, I am. I'm really sorry. I didn't take it easy. Yes, I should have taken it easy on what you say.
That's the sound of the Temptations. That's their debut single on the Miracle record label. July 61, the Temptations with Paul Williams on lead. Oh, Mother of Mine is the name of that tune. Let's go back to Detroit, Michigan with this group that was named after a local restaurant. Well, that would be interesting. Daryl, did you ever go to the restaurant called the Flaming Ember? or is it the Flaming Embers? They signed with Rick Tick Records in 1967. They had 6 singles for the label. This is their 6th and final release on the Rick Tick label, written by the drummer of the group. His name is Jerry Plunk, and he's also on the lead here. This is produced by Ed Wingate, who owned the Rick Tick label. Let's go to September of 1968. These are the Flaming Embers. The Flaming Embers on the Rick Tick label. It's called Just Like Children. Those are the Flaming Embers. Johnny G's mind, excuse me, Johnny G's mind is flaming tonight. That is correct. September 1968. That's their final single on the Rick Tick record label. Just Like Children is the name of the tune. Don't we act just like children sometimes? Sometimes people in the chat room do. That is a fact as we continue now. And up next, we stay in Detroit, Michigan now for this gal. She was born Agatha Weston, and when she signed with Motown Records back in 1963, but she had a number of releases on the Tamla and the Gordy record labels. Her big hit was the song called Take Me in Your Arms in 1965 for the Gordy label, and also she does a great duet with Marvin Gaye called It Takes Two. That was on the Tamla record label. This is her third of 7 for the Tamla, written and produced by Smokey Robinson. This charted number 21 on WHK in Cleveland, Ohio. We go to April 1964 for Miss Kim Weston. Kim Weston on the Tamla label. It's called Lookin' for the Right Guy.
the castle, no one knows. Looking for the right guy. The next guy day will have to rain this torch I'm gonna carry. You'll have to be a man of quality, not just any Tom, Dick or Harry. I'll give my all and all, but only for the right guy. 'Cause I know I'm gonna fall, but only for the right guy. I know you're gonna come my way, and loving him is my fate. Every time I think about that day, I get so excited I can hardly wait for the right guy. Yeah, just a plain old ordinary girl looking for the right guy. Yeah, I'm just a plain old ordinary girl looking for the right guy.
That's the sound of Kim Weston here on the All 60s edition, her third of 7 on the Tamla label, April 1964 release. Looking for the Right Guy is the name of the tune. Johnny G looking for the right songs here on a Monday evening. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes. If you're new to the program, especially those of you tuned in on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell to get notifications. You'll get an email when I go live, so you can just click that email link and it'll bring you right here to the program, but you have to sign in to YouTube. You can only view, you can view on your phone or TV or whatever you're looking at, your PC or your laptop, but in order to participate in chat, you need to register with YouTube. That is the fact. Can't even click the thumbs up. Cannot do that. But if not, you can tune in on oldiesandmoreradio.com. You can tune in there. I'm live streaming on Oldies and More Radio. We're here till 11. A little bit of overtime will do. But let's continue here for this next singer. He's from New Jersey, and his debut single came out on the Cindy label. Really? On the Cindy label? Which Cindy label? I don't know which one. But then he joined up with Bobby Robinson, who put out singles on the Enjoy and the Fury labels. But here is his best on the Mercury label. I wonder if I wrote that a long time ago. I don't know. But this one is produced by Bobby Robinson. I feature a lot of Bobby Robinson 45's on my Saturday night show, of course. A big record label owner for Whirling Discs and Red Robin Records and other labels, the channels, etc. But here he is. He co-wrote this tune and produced it for Ricky Lewis, November 66. Ricky Lewis on the Mercury label. It's called Someone to Love Tonight.
Some say it's so wonderful to be loved. Some say it comes from the heavens above. Wish I may and I wish I might find me someone to love tonight. I lay alone, trying not to cry. But when I think of love, tears just roll from my eyes. But I will, oh yes I will, find me someone to love tonight. Oh yes I will. I've tried 100 times or more. What I need is in the morning and I'm still awake. How do some guys, I wanna know, get all those lucky breaks? Wish I may and I wish I might find me someone to love tonight. I need someone to love tonight. I need someone to love tonight. Oh yes I do. I need someone to hold my hand. Oh yeah, I got to have someone to understand.
There you go. That is, I lost my place. That's Ricky Lewis. Ricky Lewis on the Mercury record label, November 1966 release. Someone to Love Tonight is the name of the tune. And Reed, I bought that record a long time ago from Barry Soltz. He charged me $75, probably at that time I got the Johnny G discount. Might have been about 30% at the time for a big, because when I bought records from the dealers, it wasn't just one record. It would be a few $1,000s worth of 45s, because I said, if I buy a lot, you're going to give me a break. And so it's best to buy if you have the money. If you don't have the money, it's difficult. So I had lots of cash in my pockets at the time that I was going to these record shows. So, everybody was pulling at me to go to their tables. Now, who do I go to first? I'm going to go to the table that has the most things off my want list. And that's usually what I did. Like I would go to Ralph Barton when he would come up from Atlanta, Georgia. And I think I spent one time with him, it was $4,000 or something for the records. But he gave me a big discount. He gave me like 47% off. I mean, you really can't go wrong. Maybe I bought a lot of records that he held for a long time, depending on the dealers. But, sometimes, they weren't so nice to me. And I said, well, you know what? Not for nothing, okay? But how about if I just walk away? Not that I try to be a crude business guy, but, I was buying lots of records at the time. I was spending, $100,000 a year on 45. So it's easy to do that, especially when you collect like I did. And I was collecting soul records and country records that who wants to that Marty Whalen wants to hear, Everly Brothers. It's not for this show, but I was collecting those records. I was collecting group records, big time group records. So it wasn't like I didn't, and I kind of gravitated to the people that always treated me well. That was the one thing. I'd never deal with anybody that if you have to hem and haw, they're not worth dealing with. Believe me, it's not worth it. If somebody recognizes you as a great buyer, they're going to work with you no matter what it is. And once you find that buyer, and especially if that seller, I should say, then you can work with them, especially if they find good records. And I was dealing with lots of people that found good records. Not that and sometimes they would call me up and say, Johnny, you want this on the Dice label? It's $3,000. But, if it was Stone Mint, sometimes I'd have to give in. But you know what? It balances out at the end of the day. That's how I look at it. And plus, you're getting enjoyment out of the records. I get enjoyment out of playing my records. I do. And that's why I put so much time into the show, because I get enjoyment out of it. This is really... It's very pleasurable for Johnny G to do this. A lot of the guys that do radio shows, they don't do what I do. They don't do it. So if you could admire, I know Barbara admires it, that I have a passion for the music. Johnny G getting off the soapbox now. Let's continue here, because this is a cool record. Another record I found in the wild. It's not in the greatest shape, but it plays pretty nice for this next artist from Columbus, Ohio. His real name is Henry Lee Sapp, but he recorded as Timmy Willis, first on the Sidra label back in 1967. He has also another one on Veep, I think. I have that one on Veep, but he does two on the Jubilee record label. This is his first of two. It's a song he wrote. Let's go back to May 1969 for Timmy Willis. Timmy Willis on the Jubilee record label, and it's kind of interesting. I just played Someone to Love tonight, and this song is called I Finally Found a Woman. Interesting, but it's Timmy Willis from May 69 on the Jubilee label. It's called I Finally Found a Woman. That's Mr. Timmy Willis there. Timmy Willis from May 69. It's on the Jubilee record label. That is his first of two, a song he wrote called I Finally Found a Woman. That one has one more, I think, 1972 on the Epic record label. Let's say hi to Bobby Gass in our YouTube chat. You know, Bobby, I know with the copyright issues here that a couple times I see that the show gets posted. Same thing for John. They post the show and then they take it down because it says not available. That's because you play it because these copyright people that they run these filters. They're filters that go on YouTube, and when something pops up that is kind of like a red flag, I mean, they've been letting a lot of my stuff go lately, you know, but I cannot risk playing. Like, somebody wants me to play, I can't play Elvis. If I play Elvis, they're going to shut me down. They're going to shut me down with Norman Petty stuff. Can't play him. Can't play certain Rolling Stones. Can't play the Beatles. Can't play a lot of the big acts because they're well known. If it's an obscure thing, they let it go. Most of the stuff I play is obscure, although they I think I played the no, who'd I play? I played it was Love Me, the Vontastics. Last week or the week before, I played the Vontastics on Moonshot for, what was it called? For You, maybe? No, I forget. 2 words. Well, they blocked it in Japan, and they blocked it in 2 other places. But I don't think I have a lot of listeners in Japan. I have very few listeners. I kind of made a comment on my YouTube page. But if they ever block the video, I have to remove it. And they have a program that I use to remove it, but it erases everything in chat. It's like it takes that song off and it resaves the file, and it kind of eliminates chat. And I told them, I said, look, I got no problem with removing a record. I said, but, you know, you get rid of the chatter that a lot of people like to see. You know, we're talking about the music, there's stuff about the records, and a lot of people like to see it. Other people don't give a crap about it, but a lot of people do. That's why they come back to the show. So they haven't answered me yet. But I've had some issues that I've had to take the records off. And sometimes they say, you know, you can't see it in Russia or you can't see it here. Well, those, and kind of I let it slide. But UK, Europe, and here in the United States, those are the big, a lot of people in those areas tune into the show, plus other places. But it's a problem, and I don't know why. You see, we're using their you know, their platform, so you have to abide by their rules as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And let's go to back to Memphis, featuring some cool 45's out of Memphis tonight. And this is on the High record label for this artist by the name of Billy Davis. Now, not the Billy Davis who recorded with Marilyn McCoo. This is J.C. Billy Davis, and also known as Billy Guitar Davis. And this is a tune that he wrote. This one came out in June. That's got to be 68, Charlene, I guess. June 1968, Billy Davis on the High label. It's called It's All Over.
Somebody new. I hardly ever think of you. She took my broken heart and put it back together. She has made me the man that I used to be. And now there's no doubt about it, I'm gonna stand up and shout it every day. Baby, baby, it's all over. All the heartaches are gone. She's kind and true, unlike you. And she do all the things I wanted you to do. What you were doing to me, everybody but me. But now, baby, baby, it's all over. All the heartaches are gone. No more crying, no more lonely teardrops.
That's out of Memphis, Tennessee there. That is Billy Davis. Billy Davis from June 58 on the High record label. It's all over. It's not all over, not yet. Not till at least 11 o'clock as we continue here for this next singer. He was discovered by Ike Turner way back in 1952. Brought him over to his label at the time, or the label that he was recording with, Sam Phillips's Sun record label, and had releases on the Meteor and the Bobbin labels, but in 1961 he signed with Checker Records, had about 32 releases on the Checker record label between 1961 and 1976. Let's give a listen to his 12th of 32 releases for Checker. This charted number 106 on the Billboard Bubbling Under charts, a big number 7 record on KOKY in Little Rock, Arkansas. Tune written by Billy Davis. Now, I don't think the Billy Davis you just heard, but it was also Carl Smith and Raynard Minor. This is from November 1965. Little Milton on the Checker label. It's called Your People.
Your people, let me tell you, act like I'm poison ivy.
Your people, baby, tell me why do they deny me? Because I was raised on the slum side of town. Your family don't want me around. But your people, oh no, can't stop our loving you.
Your people, baby, they judge me by the crowd.
And your people, yeah, baby, they say my loving you is not allowed. Because my ways they don't understand. Your family treat me less than a man. But your people, oh no, they can't stop our love, our true love. Let me tell you, your people, I wonder sometimes,
When are they gonna wake up?
your people, don't they know that true love you can't break up? But baby, we've got zombies heart, and no one can tear us apart. So tell your people, yeah now, they can't stop our loving. Why don't you tell them, you know I love you, and no one can stop us now. You know I love you.
Yes, Mark, you are correct. That's the sound of Little Milton there, November 65. That's his 12th release on the Checker label, song entitled Your People. How about a twin spin on Little Milton? Here's his 15th of 32 on the Checker record label. His real name was Milton Campbell Jr., and we are here listening to a twin spin for Little Milton. This is actually a cover song. This was first done by Chuck Corby and the Chances on the Sound label. Also came out, I think Sound also released on Veep, a second press, or second release. But this is this charted number 127. It bubbled under on the Billboard Hot 100. It was number 45 on the R&B chart, number 4 record on WRBD if you were listening in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Let's go back to July 1966 for Little Milton on the Checker label. It's called Man Loves Two.
Man
man's temptation, yeah, it can fool you, yeah. I know it sounds silly, yeah, but I think I love to. Oh, what can I do? Tell me, what can I do? Yeah, when a man loves to. Oh yeah, when a man loves to. I feel so bad, yes I do. I don't know what to do. I'm a married man, yes I am, but I gotta love her too, yeah, but what can I do? Tell me what can I do now, when a man loves to, yeah, when a man loves to. From my wife, oh, a man's temptation, oh yeah, it's taking me away, yes it is, from my home, each and every day. Oh, what can I do? When a man loves you, yeah, what can I do? Please tell me, baby, what can I do? Oh, when a man loves to, yeah. What can I do?
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's Little Milton Campbell Jr. there, July 66. Man Loves To is the name of that one. Came out on the Checker record label. Unfortunately, he passed away August 4th, 2005. He was 70 years old. Passed away from a stroke. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, let's go to Romulus, Michigan. For this gal, she recorded 3 for Wilbert Golden's Correct Tone record label out of Detroit, and this is her 3rd release. I think this is the B-side. Reed, do you have this one by her? This is the B-side here on the Correct Tone label. Her name is Teresa Lindsey. Teresa Lindsey, this one from July 65 on the Correct Tone record label. It's called Good Idea.
You say you wanna need me, need my love all the time.
That's the sound of Teresa Lindsey here on the All 60s edition. A song entitled Good Idea, July 1965 on the Correct Tone record label. And it's a good idea if we stop with the requests in the YouTube chat room. Send Johnny G an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. If I have the 45, I'll play it. If it doesn't fit the format of this show, it may fit the format of my Saturday night show where I will feature it. Maybe I'll do another show in the afternoon where I'll just play, all rock and roll records and hits and see how far I get. But they'll block me out. They'll block me while I am playing records on YouTube. They will just block it. They say they warn you to pull the record. And they give you I don't know how many seconds to do it. And if you don't, they'll just block you. It'll say temporarily blocked. It's happened to me a couple times, more so at the end of the show, because they don't want me to go past 3 hours, you see. I get a lot more leeway on Saturday night for some reason. Monday night, sometimes they give me problems. I need 1,000 subscribers, and I can go on for 6 and 7 hours, and it would be different. But let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's go back to California. This group is out of San Bernardino, California. They're called the Tribulations, and this is the A side of their 45, co-written by the lead singer. His name is James House, who Charlene thinks sounds like David Ruffin, so we'll see. This one charted number 35 on KSOL in San Francisco, California. We go to October 1969. These are the Tribulations. I wonder if there's a group called the Trials. Anyway, these are the Tribulations on Imperial. It's called Mama's Love.
When I was a child, I had a complex. I was my mother's baby boy out of 7 sons. And they all seemed to be turning out okay in life. When it came to doing wrong, I was branded to be the one. She often called me stupid and crazy, and that's why I couldn't be like her other sons. Well, I couldn't explain at the time, but I guess if I had won the world, without my mother's love, what would I have won? She gave me everything that money could buy, but she was never there to dry her baby's eyes. And then I met a little girl who stood by my side. She was so young, but she had so much wisdom inside. She gave me the things, Lord, that money couldn't buy, and she was always there to dry her baby's eyes. And I think I needed, I think I needed my mama's love. I think I needed, I think I needed my mama's love. That I just couldn't understand. How could you keep her love from me and expect me to be a man? I didn't have enough confidence to open up a door. I kept my hands in my pocket just like before. I think I needed my I think I needed my mama's love one more time. I think I needed my
That group called the Tribulations, their October 1969 release, Mama's Love is the name of the tune. I'm going to flip that 45 over. I think the flip side's pretty good. We're going to flip over the Teresa Lindsey record because this is a Van McCoy pen tune. This is the A side of the 45. And what did I say? What year was this here? This came out in July of 1965. This is her third release on the Correct Tone label. Teresa Lindsey here with this Van McCoy pen tune. It's called It's Love.
I'm sure this time gonna make him mine. One look at him and I knew for me there could never be another. He smiled and my heart told me that I'd never, never love another. I've never, ever felt this way. You can believe me when I say now. I'm sure this time gotta make him mine. The first time that he kissed me, he must have heard me sighing. 'Cause then he held me tender. That's when I almost started crying. I don't wanna ever let you go. Don't wanna lose you because I know now it's here to stay. Wouldn't have it any other way, yeah. And nobody knows just how I feel about you. And no one can tell if what I say is true now. Say it over and over and over. It's here to stay. Would never end any other way now. Say it over and over and over again. I know it's love. I know it's got to be love. Why don't you say it over and over again? I know it's love. I know it's got to be love.
That's the intended A side on that Teresa Lindsey single. Song entitled It's Love, written by Van McCoy's July 65 release on the Correct Tone record label. Let's flip over that to Tribulations record too, Mama's Love. That was the A side from October 69 on the Imperial record label. Now the B side is called You Gave Me Up for Promises. These are the Tribulations.
Where's the diamond ring he promised you? Have you been to all the places he said he'd take you to?
Where are all the fellows that you once knew? Where's all the places he said he'd take you to? And where are all the people, baby, he said you'd meet? Where were all the slaves, honey, he said you'd eat? You gave me up, girl, all for promises. You gave me up, girl, all for promises. It wasn't good enough that I was
Charlene, that society sounds like David Ruffin when you copied that. When you copied that for the flip. Anyway, that's the Tribulations there. That's a B-side there, October 69. You Gave Me Up for Promises is the name of that one on the Imperial record label. Let's go back to Detroit. Daryl, you must be in your glory going with all these records out of Detroit. This is a request for Jerry Nazen. As you know, this group, their first two singles came out on the Motown record label. They had their biggest hit back in 1962 with Do You Love Me, which was like resurrected in that movie Dirty Dancing. That record was on the charts again. I forget when that movie came out, but it's not that the people forgot about it, because Do You Love Me was a big hit for the group. But this is their 7th of 9 on the Gordy label. This tune written by Smokey Robinson and Bobby Rogers, produced by Smokey Robinson. This charted number 57 on Billboard, number 12 on the R&B chart, a big number 1 record on WTAC. If you were listening, Daryl, in Flint, Michigan, and this is from June 65. This is going out to Jerry Nazen. The Contours on the Gordy label. It's called First I Look at the Purse. This is for Jerry.
What does every man look at first?
That's going out to Jerry Nason. Those are the Contours. The Contours from June 1965. They're 7th of 9 on the Gordy label. They First Look at the Purse. And I know the girls, when I was driving around in my Cadillac, they liked the Cadillac. They said, Johnny G, can we go for a ride in your Cadillac? And I said, well, yeah, you can. It's got all custom seats. It's nice and cozy in here. Of course, now I'm driving a LaCrosse, a Buick LaCrosse. Barbara says, it's not like your Cadillac, but I like it. But she likes it. You know, it's a silver color LaCrosse, so it's got a pretty decent ride for a 4-cylinder. I went from 8 cylinders to 4 cylinders, and the Cadillac I had a Cadillac 2010 DTS that I've donated to Wounded Warriors. So it had great pickup. I mean, when I used to come off the ramp to get onto the Garden State Parkway, and I would just rev it up, and it would go right up to 80 real quick. And then when I used to ride on Route 22, I think it was 22 into Newark, so the speed limit there was about 50. Now, I used to go 75, and in the morning time you just had to know where the police were, and I wasn't using my Waze, you know, and it would, and I remember I left early one day, so I'm speeding home. It was 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm on the left lane with the Cadillac, and I'm going 75 in a 50. So I'm not that I'm looking in the mirror, but it's in the rearview mirror, but it's 2 in the afternoon because they let us out early. Out of PSE&G. So I'm driving, and I hear I see these lights behind me. After a few minutes, I didn't notice, so I pull over to the side, and one of the guys gets out, and he's on the passenger side, and he says to me, he says, "Can I see your?" He said, "Do you know we followed you for some time? And you didn't see us there? You have to look in your mirror. We followed you for a time." So I gave him my registration. I gave him the insurance card, the registration. He wanted my license. So he comes back and he says to me, "Here is a warning." And I was like, "A warning?" And I was like, "Well, thank you, officer. I appreciate it. I'll make sure that I follow the rules next time. I'm sorry. You know, I wasn't thinking. You know, I was daydreaming." He says, "Well, okay, we'll slow down." So I was like, "Why didn't I get a ticket? 25 miles over the speed limit?" And then somebody told me, a retired police officer said, "Well, they weren't looking for speeders. They were looking to check. They did check on you, but they probably checked if you were wanted for either transport, because that's not a nice road to break down on. You don't want to break down on Route 21. What's it called? I forget, something Boulevard. I forget, but you don't want to break down on that road because, maybe for smuggling guns, because I guess the Cadillac is pretty easy to smuggle guns in. Not that I would ever do that, but they are looking for that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, that Cadillac got me into more trouble anyway as I babble on here. Let's continue. And what do I got here? We go from the purse to the correct form now for this gal from the Bronx, New York. She sang with the Janettes on Sally Go Round the Roses. She also filled in as one of the Peaches in Peaches and Herb with Herb fame. And she was part of that duet. She was known as Marlena Mack or Marlena Jenkins or Marlena Mars, and this is on the Capitol record label as Marlena Mars, the first of two on the Capitol label from February 63. Marlena Mars on Capitol with The Correct Form.
My baby, we were having a test, studying the rules, the way we know best, the correct form of how to act and speak. This is what we learned the very first week. And speak. This is what we learned the very first week. My objective but we learned the very first week.
That's the sound of Marlena Mars here on the All 60s edition. First of two on the Capitol record label, February 63, Marlena Mars with the correct form. And, of course, she has other releases on the OK and the MGM record label. Let's continue now. And I have no information about this next group, but this is on a label owned by Camille E. Hodge. It's the Cab label, which is out of New York City, and she also owned the Camille label. And this is from October of 1967. His name is Jimmy Lomax and the Vows. Jimmy Lomax and the Vows. This is on the Cab label, CAB Records. It's called Come On Home. Jimmy Lomax and the Vows. That's out of New York City there. Those Jimmy Lomax and the Vows. October 67 on the Cab record label. Come On Home is the name of the tune. They had two more releases on Camille back in 1968. We continue here. Let's go out to Los Angeles, California for this next group. And this song originally recorded by Jay Wiggins on the IPG record label, also covered by the Galahads on the Beachwood / Starla labels. And this is a nice rendition by this Los Angeles group called The Midnighters. This came out on Ruth Conti's Chattahoochee label, February 65. Let's give a listen to The Thee, and that's how I'm filing it, Dave. The Midnighters. Willie Garcia, the lead singer here. The Midnighters from February 65 on Chattahoochee with their rendition of the tune, Sad Girl.
Sad girl, you look so sad. Did he break your heart? Gee, that's too bad. I guess now you see our love can't be sad, girl. Forget that guy. Come on, let's smile now. Please won't you try? Get a hold of yourself. Come on and find someone else. Open up your heart, girl. Make a settle, make a brand new start. Please don't you cry, just go out and find yourself another guy. Sad girl, you just hold your head up high. Things are really gonna change, I know, yeah, as time goes by, because that's the way love goes. Why don't wanna know? Everybody's somebody's fool. You're no exception to the rule. So say you do, pretty baby, yeah, yeah. Everybody had a good day, yeah. Your day is gonna come, I know. When you find a love that's so true. One love, baby, yeah, yeah. One love that's meant for you. Lord, love you, pretty baby, yeah, yeah. Sad girl. Oh, please, won't you please come back to me? 'Cause I know he can never love you the way that I
Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition, the third of 6 on Ruth Conti's Chattahoochee label for Willie Garcia and the Midnighters, February 65, their rendition of the Jay Wiggins tune Sad Girl. As we continue here, let's go to this gal from Inglewood, New Jersey. Started singing when she was 18 years old, and her next door neighbor heard her singing and asked her to join him in the studio. Her next door neighbor was Van McCoy, and he brought her to the studio where he was recording the Four Buddies on the Phillips label back in 1963. If you know that song Lonely Summer, he then was able to help her or get her a contract with Phillips Records for 2 releases. This was her second release. Her real name is Kendra Spotswood, but you know her as Kenny Woods. And this is her second release. It charted number 39 on WWIN in Baltimore, Maryland, written and arranged by Van McCoy. We go back to November 63 for Kenny Woods on the Phillips label. It's called Back with My Baby.
Though we had a little fight, everything's alright tonight. I'm back with my baby. Though we said that we were through, gonna try to start anew. I'm back with my baby. He called and said we shouldn't break up, and when he said let's kiss and make up, what a mighty sweet surprise, tears of joy fell from my eyes. I'm back with my baby. Gee, but I can hardly wait, 'cause tonight we've got a date. I'm back with my baby. I'm gonna run to him and hug and kiss him, and show him just how much I've missed him. Gonna leave the past behind, we'll make it work this time. I'm back with my baby. I'm back with my baby. I'm back with my baby. He called and said we shouldn't break up, and when he said let's kiss and make up, what a mighty sweet surprise, tears of joy fell from my eyes. I'm back with my baby. Gee, but I can hardly wait, 'cause tonight we've got a date. I'm back with my baby. I'm gonna run to him and hug and kiss him, and show him just how much I've missed him. Gonna leave the past behind, we'll make it work this time. I'm back with my baby. Back with my baby. I'm back with my baby. Everything is alright. I'm back with my baby. I'm back with my baby. Gonna celebrate tonight. I'm back with my baby. I'm back with my baby. We're back together.
That's the sound of Kenny Woods here on the All 60s edition, or second of two on the Phillips label, November 63. Back with my baby. As we can only hope that as we continue here, as we wind down here on the All 60s edition, we go to ABC Paramount Records for this next 45, although this singer had his biggest hit back in 1961 on the Belltone label, if you're familiar with the tune called Tossin' and Turnin'. But this is a later tune by him. Well, really not that late. 1964 release. This is arranged by Tico Wilshire, the second of two here. We're going to send this one out to Russia listener Yulia. Tunes into the Vinyl Treasure Show. She came in Saturday night late. It was in the morning time, but she's going to tune into the archive here. And she is an expert on Dee Dee Warwick. And she told me that Dee Dee Warwick is backing up Bobby Lewis on this record here, along with Cissy Houston. And there, maybe Dionne Warwick too. Again, we heard them earlier with the original version of Time Is On My Side. But here they are again, backing up Bobby Lewis, his second release on ABC Paramount Records. It's called Stark Raving Mad. This is for Yulia.
I swear I thought I heard the roof caving in. You shook me up so, girl, like I've never been. And I went stark raving, wild for your child. Stark raving, wild for your child. tonight. I'm going start reading, baby. Walk for your town. Start reading, baby. Walk for your town. Start reading. Walk for your town. Going start reading. Walk for your town. I'm going start reading. Walk for your town. I'm going start reading.
We'll send that one out to Yulia, listening in Russia. Bobby Lewis. Bobby Lewis, that is his second release on ABC Paramount Records from 1964, Stark Raving Wild. I'm looking for that other one, Yulia, so I will find it eventually. It is in the collection. As we continue here, let's go back out to Los Angeles, California for this group that formed while attending South Central Jordan's High School. And the original group was founded back in 1964, consisted of twin brothers Walter and Wallace Scott. And they were both previously members of the Utopians that recorded for the Imperial record label. Other members were Marcus Hudson and Nick Caldwell. Collectively, they were known as the Whispers, and this is their debut single that came out on Lou Bedell's Dore record label. This charted number 19 on KGFJ in L.A., California. It features Wallace Scotty Scott on lead. We go back to December 1964 for the Whispers on the Dore record label. It's called Never Again. That's the sound of the Whispers there, their debut single from December 64. Lou Bedell's Dore record label, Never Again, is the name of the tune. Wallace Scott on lead for that one. This side would be re-released again on Dore 833, which was November of 69. This is Dore 729, the first press from December 64, but it was re-released as a B-side. I don't know what the A-side was on that 69 release. Well, how about a twin spin twin spin on the Whispers here, and we just heard, well, that was their first of 12. Here is their ninth of 12, and it has a different lead on this side. This lead here is Nicholas Caldwell, and this song was resung as a B-side to their first national charted 45, which came out on the Soul Clock label. A song called, the A-side was called Seems Like I Gotta Do Wrong back in 1970. They flipped it with a resung version of this, but this is the original version from September of 67. The Whispers on Doré with, Dave the Rave said it in chat, Needle in a Haystack.
Just one sweet girl. Is it possible? It's so hard to find. Like peace of mind, it's like trying to find needle in a haystack. Show me mercy, needle in a haystack. Wanna see my sweet baby? In the beginning there was man, and God made a woman to bring comfort to him. Comfort now, yeah, it's so hard to find. Like peace of mind, it's like trying to find needle in a haystack. Show me mercy, mercy, needle in a haystack. Wanna see my sweet baby? What's this world coming to now, baby? Somebody hit me, please, yeah. You're searching in vain. You know you're searching in vain. Wanna see, yeah, girl. There are those who journey apart in search of their wish for a star. Finding it, you know it's so hard to do. It's like watching someone trying to show me mercy. Needle in a haystack. Wanna see my sweet baby? You know I can find needle in a haystack. Can't find a needle in a haystack. Woman, I have a haystack. Can't find a needle in a haystack. All about needle in a haystack. Needle in a haystack. Can't find a needle. My whole stack of haystack. Always pain, but I just like to see a haystack.
That's a twin spin for the Whispers there. That is their, what did I say that was? That was their 9th of 12th on the Doré label, September 67. Needle in a Haystack. Nicholas Caldwell, the lead singer on that. Sometimes finding these 45s with Johnny G is like finding a needle in a haystack. I have to definitely say that. I spend sometimes hours looking for 45s. For you, the listeners, to the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in overtime now. Got a couple more 45s to go here. Let's go to this Philadelphia label, although this group is not out of Philadelphia. This group is out of Liverpool, England. Now, this song originally done by another girl group out of Liverpool. They were known as the Breakaways in 1964. They did it first, was picked up here in the U.S. on the Cameo record label. Then in 1965, another girl group out of Liverpool recorded this tune. They were a trio of sisters known as Carol, Sue, and Jean Bell, and they were known as the Three Bells. This one from February 1965. This came out on the Lawn label out of Philadelphia, although first issued over in the UK, probably on UK Decca, if I'm guessing. But here are the Three Bells from February 65 on Lawn with a cover of the Breakaways tune, He Doesn't Love Me. There you go, out of the UK. They're called the Three Bells, February 1965. That's a cover of the Breakaways cameo release, song entitled He Doesn't Love Me. That one there on the Lawn record label, He Doesn't Love Me by the Three Bells. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 60s 45s out of my collection, not country 45s out of my collection. You want to get in touch with me? Send me your requests at vinyltreasures@aol.com. Instead of typing them in the chat room there. I take, if there's not that many, Charlene will take your requests, but you drive her crazy with putting them in the chat room there. The flip sides I can do instantly. That's easy. But don't ask me for Everly Brothers records on a soul show. That just ain't going to work. I'll do it on a 50s show, maybe, but not on a soul show. So, and no big hits. I can't play I Want to Hold Your Hand. I can't play She Loves You as much as I would want to. I can't. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in this evening. Hope you enjoyed some of the tunes you heard tonight. Maybe some new ones to put on your list. But that's the aim of Johnny G. As you know, I get so much enjoyment out of playing my 45. So thank you for being here. I hope you'll join me on Saturday night. It's my birthday show. And as much as people want me to do that show in my birthday suit, I will refuse. Although, I will refuse. That ain't going to happen. But it is my birthday show, so I will get away from the requests, and I'll be playing all my requests. Some big rarities out of my collection. So, and some of my favorites. So you're going to want to tune in. It's going to be like a collector's type show. But maybe some records I haven't played in a long time. So I know a lot of people are looking forward to that, so I really have to outdo myself on that show. Kind of like how my anniversary shows used to be, which I've gotten away from. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in tonight. And again, I hope to see you next Monday night right here beginning at 8 o'clock, 8 to 11 p.m. right here on Oldies and More, also on YouTube. So if you're new to the program, please subscribe. Again, if this show for some reason does not get up on YouTube, you can always go to vinyltreasures.net because there is a stream of the show there, and you can also download it, to your heart's delight there. You can do that. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. And actually, I have two records, but I'm going to close on the Oldies and More with this record. This record by Mr. Rhythm. Do you know who Mr. Rhythm is? Anybody out there know who Mr. Rhythm is? Mr. Rhythm was born in Bessemer. Is it Bessemer, Alabama, Darrell? But he moved to Detroit in 1950. Well, I don't know if it's in 55. He got his start with the $5 and recorded for Devorah Brown's Fortune record label. Eventually, he would get top billing on the releases with mention of the $5, a.k.a. they also recorded as a Don Juans, too, by the way. Or his new group. I think that was another name. But here is his second of four that he did on the Checker label, and a song he co-wrote. This was number 7 on WRBD in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, from Mr. Andre Williams, our closer tonight. We were talking about Johnny G's Cadillac. Well, this is a song about a Cadillac from August 68. Andre Williams on the Checker label. It's called Cadillac Jack. That's our closer for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't go away. I have another record after we come off Oldies and More Radio, but it's going out to Dave the Rave, so you better stick around, Dave, for the record. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Charlene, again for all your help, as she is an immense help for Johnny G, especially on Mondays, even with all the PC problems. Hopefully they'll get ironed out soon. But thank you all again for tuning in. Hopefully I'll see you here either next Monday night at 8 o'clock or at my birthday bash next Saturday at 9 o'clock on Saturday, 9 to midnight. Well, thank you all again. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
the south side of Chicago lived a guy named Jack, whose dream it was to someday own a Cadillac. He gambled for his money. The first thing you know, up popped Jack in a brand new Eldorado. It didn't matter, he had no place to stay. He slept in his car at night and he drove all day, hustling for a living. He could really shoot pool and didn't think it was necessary to stay in school. A long white Cadillac was his claim to fame, and every year he bought a new one to keep up his name.
What's the dude's name?
Cadillac Jack. Sure was a Mac. Life was good to Jack, and he thought he had it made, till he started fooling around with another fella's babe. Jack had a way with women that he couldn't understand, why this girl refused him to stay with her man. Jack said, now listen, baby, and grabbed her by the arm, cause he just had to show her how good he could charm. With no word of warning came a bust of light, as Jack made his final mistake that night. Talking real loud, drawing a crowd, you knew his name really made him proud.
What's the dude's name?
Cadillac Jack. Sure was a Mac. Now Jack was a legend on our side of town. Too bad the girl's boyfriend shot him down. A few days later, Jack was flat on his back, getting his last ride in a long, long black Cadillac. That was Cadillac Jack. Sure was a Mac. Cadillac Jack. Sure was a Mac.
Okay, folks, there you go. That is, you better check that record there. Andre, Dave the Rave, you better check your records on that. I mean, I didn't know I had it. I saw it in the box. I said, this is a pretty cool record. Cadillac Jack. Andre Williams there. There you go. Andre Williams, Cadillac Jack. So anyway, earlier in the show, I played a song on the Carter record label. It was the 8th record on the show from 1965. It was TR and the Nomads with Bob Dorman on lead on Carter Records. I Can't Wait was the name of the tune. That was the B-side. It was funny because Dave the Rave, who's in the YouTube chat room now, he said, Johnny G, do you have this record? And he goes, I don't know what it sounds like, so we're going to play it here for Dave the Rave so he can decide if he wants to buy it or not. Now, of course, I paid $1 for this record, so I was running labels, and this, well, actually was interesting, was the Carter label. So that's actually got some rare group records on the Carter label. But this is from 65, and this is the A-side, and only because I think Dave really wanted this record because he wishes he was this guy back then. I mean, he can only fantasize about it now. But so we'll send this one out to Dave the Rave in the YouTube chat room. This is TR and the Nomads with Bob Dorman on lead from 1965 on the Carter label. And the song is called Best Busboy at the Playboy Club. And this is for Dave the Rave.
I'm the head boss boy of the Playboy. come alive. I go upstairs, I check the bar, I put up the glasses, I fill up the ice. I call for the bunnies, but there's no one inside at the Playboy. The Jackie starts hollering, Pam is hollering, Carol's hollering, Sue hollers too, Betty is hollering, the floor director's hollering, the bartender's hollering, and Kim hollers too. Man, you should see Kim do the swim at the Playboy. All those bunnies are shaped up right at the Playboy. They'll make you explode like dynamite at the Playboy. Hold it, fellas.
Yeah, man. What's the matter? Tell me.
I called Mr. Hefner in Chicago
What you talking
just to
about?
let him know how
What do you
hard
say?
I'm working for such small dough.
Tell him about it.
I told him I was gonna quit,
And what did he say then?
but he said no.
Oh, man, I know
If
how
I
you feel.
quit, he'd have to lock the door
Ain't that bad?
because I'm his best busboy
You better believe it.
at the Playboy. I'm the head busboy at the Playboy. I go to work every day at the Playboy. I punch my clock at 5:05. That's the time I come alive. I go upstairs, I check the bar, I put up the glasses, I fill up the ice. I call for the bunnies, but there's no one inside at the Playboy. At the Playboy. At the Playboy. At the Playboy.
There you go, Dave the Rave. That's the side, but I played the other side. But Manship has it. If you check, Manship has the flip side. It should be on. You should see it on the down. Once the show goes down, once I shut off, I think you can actually see the replay though. It'll be there under downloads. It won't come up at the top. But actually, if you don't care about the chat room, you should, and you want to see the entire show, it posts almost immediately, so you should check the show then, because sometimes I have to take some records out, especially on my 60s show. So if you don't care about the chat, you can look at that. If not, you can go to my website, like I said, vinyltreasures.net. But anyway, that's the song 250. Who's selling this record for 250? Has to be for the flip side, because the flip side, I think, is they said if you look at Manship, he talks about it as being as I don't know, what do they call it? Not mod. He had all names. I don't know the names, guys in the UK that tune in. I call it all soul. That's what I do. Or a blue-eyed soul, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, that's it. Johnny G is beat. And tomorrow's another day. And I got to get a haircut, so I look all nice for my birthday bash next Saturday night. And so that'll be a special birthday night for me. Barbara's taking me out to dinner on Friday night. It's going to be like an early dinner. So anyway, that's going to do it, folks. Thank you all again for tuning in. And hopefully, like you said, you dig on the show. If you do, please subscribe. Tell your friends about it. If not, I'll see you Saturday night, or I'll see you next Monday night. So just want to say, everybody, again, so long. Bye, ciao, adios. Bye-bye.